then I'll put it to good use.
I suppose we'll see. I've stolen enough of your time, my dear. Don't let me keep you. Yes?
I wanted to ask you about the Circle of Magi.
Of course. What do you wish to know?
If the Circle disbanded, how can you still belong to it?
The Circle is an idea, my dear. Many of the first enchanters voted for rebellion. Rather than dissolving it, Grand Enchanter Fiona's vote split the Circle in two. The rebels follow her, the loyalists follow me.
If you lead all the loyalists...
Grand Enchanters are elected, and I could name myself Grand Enchanter, but the title holds no meaning now. When the circles are restored...
What was it like to live in a circle?
My dear, your question is the root. I cannot tell you. And every person within each... Some people suffered and some were content. The same is true of people everywhere, in all circumstances, whether they are mages or not.
So, tell me about your personal experience.
I enjoyed life in the Montsimard Circle, and mages need the company of other mages. No one else can truly understand the challenges we face.
You must have been under constant supervision being forced by Templars to live in the tower.
My dear, I have a suite in the palace and a wing at my dear Duke Bastien's estate. Most circles allowed mages to live away from the tower. All that was required was permission. Some circles were harsher in their restrictions. Kirkwall was the worst. Perhaps too permissive, in retrospect.
How did we come to this state where the circles...
A failure of perspective that mages lived solely in a world of Templars and mages. Kirkwall gave the world a reason to remember its fear of magic. A mage killed hundreds with a snap of their fingers. Across Thedas, a new tangible fear of magic grew. But the malcontents in the towers thought nothing of this. When a mage attempted to assassinate Divine Justinia, again, the mages protested the investigation. The leadership chose to vote on independence, sparing no thought to the fact that magic was more feared in the aftermath. So long as they had their freedom, they could care little for riots, angry mobs, or about pitting mages against each other.
Are you familiar with Grand Enchanter Fiona?
We've met. Before her horrendously ill-timed and selfish vote for independence, in her dotage, she could not handle looking after the well-being of... We would have done better to replace her years ago, to let her spend time gardening.
Did they have cause to rebel?
In the aftermath of their terrorist attacks? By all means protest abuses by the Templars. Just by voting when they did. My colleagues all but declared war. A war in which we are outnumbered 100 to 1.
I thought the fighting was only between mages and Templars. Why are mages fighting mages?
The vote for independence was carried by only a small margin, but Fiona chose to let the motion stand. Those who opposed a rash declaration of war against the entire free world had little choice. By breaking from the Chantry when they did, anyone who did not wish to support terrorism and the slaughter of innocents was forced to take arms against the rebels.
Speak only the word. Sing only the golden city, the center of all
I heard the
creation.
Templars have withdrawn.
And for a
Seems
time you dwelled
I can see them
among
breaking the Chantry's chain.